good evening. My name is Wallace Gator Bradley, and I'm the host of the Bradley Report. I'm also the chairman. No, my wife will beat me up if I say I'm the chairman. I'm also the president of United in Peace, Inc. And this evening we're going to be talking about criminal justice reform. We're going to be talking about why don't they release a young man by the name of Jackie Edwards. And I have his attorney on for my guest, and hopefully his wife will call into the station too. He should have been freed at the end of May.
May 29th.
May 29th. Okay. We're going to talk about the elections. County Board President, young man by Jamal Green has got into the race for mayor. Talk about the programs that Mayor Lightfoot is putting out there dealing with mental health, and she did make her announcement for a re-election. The issues that you're going to see on this show is brought to you by the producer and the director, as well as the chairman of United Peace Inc., none other than my wife, okay? And that's Terry Marsh Bradley. So without further ado, me and Brother Jim are going to share with you what's happening with Jamie. To God be the glory. That's my story. Jamie, let's talk about Mr. Edwards' case.
Yes. I was contacted a number of weeks ago by Mr. Edwards' wife, Shawana, and who told me something I couldn't quite believe, but it is unfortunately more common than you would think, and that is she hadn't heard from her husband, Jackie Edwards, in weeks. She had heard through the prison grapevine that he was in segregation, or the shoe, or
The hole.
Yeah, many names for it, but it all is unpleasant. And
now, is that the new federal institution? What is that, Thompson?
that is correct.
And it's in Illinois. It's downstate. It was supposed to be a new penitentiary that the state of Illinois was building.
That's right.
But they ended up selling it to the government, and the government made it a federal institution.
That's right. It is
Okay.
a federal correctional center. They have, not unlike a lot of prisons around the United States that the federal government runs, they have different levels. So they have your medium, high, low, and a camp. And the camp actually doesn't have a fence around it. It's for people. It's almost like a halfway house. It's for people who are getting ready to go back into society. Many have jobs within the city and then go back to the camp at night, and they're very close to getting released. And that was the case with Jackie.
So he was supposed to get out May 29th.
That's right.
That's when he's supposed to have been released. And for some reason, by me being to my viewing audience, I'm an ex-felon, so I know how it go, but I've been blessed by God to get a pardon, and now I'm an urban translator, and I believe in fighting for those that are wrongfully convicted, as well as those that are wrongfully sentenced. I mean, if this man supposed to be coming home in May, I don't know why they holding him in there.
Right.
So that's why when his wife reached out to me, because I know him, and I told him, hey, I put forth effort by letting my viewing audience know that you're going to see, in the name of humanity, free Jackie Edward.
Right.
You know, his wife should be calling in, and when she do call in, we'll bring her in.
Yeah.
But I want you to sit with me a little while I do the rest of my show.
Can I say one more thing
No, you
about
can say a
Jackie?
couple things, yeah.
Okay, so, and there's a whole another part of this, if you can believe
Okay.
it, and that is I have not, as Jackie's lawyer, been able to see him, been able to talk to him. They have gone silent on allowing any
So they refuse
communication
you
with
to,
Jackie.
even with
Yes.
the call from his attorney?
And they won't. No, after many efforts, and by the way, they didn't answer their phones after 2 p.m. for many days in a row. Once I finally got a hold of someone, they went through this very detailed description of who I am, why I need the attorney visit, which gets into sometimes
Right.
attorney-client
You couldn't get
privilege.
right, right.
And they were just making it as difficult as possible to get in. I've never had that issue with
Now,
any other person.
Jackie was telling me that they did reach out to Senator Durbin, to make him aware.
Yes,
Uh,
and Duckworth.
and Duckworth.
Hmm.
I'm going to aid and assist you with reaching out to people because I know they concerned about criminal justice reform as well as prison reform. And that's what I can do. You being the attorney that understands the court of law, I'm being an urban translator. I understand the court of public opinion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And we all work together, but I don't want you to leave unless you got somewhere to go, because I want to carry on the show for you. Welcome
Absolutely.
to sit here, and
I would enjoy
hopefully
that.
she'll
Thank you.
call while we still here.
Absolutely.
So with that, could you hit the next story for me? Yes. Bring the down to the arrow. This is Brother Jamal Green. He has made mention that he's going to run for mayor again. Last time he ran, he dropped out of the race. I think Willie Wilson had challenged his petitions, and I don't think he had enough signatures, so he dropped out of the race. Hopefully, he'll end up with a bunch of signatures. But anybody that feel like they want to run for public office has a right to run. Could you hit that arrow right there for me?
We are following breaking
Thank you.
political news. Community activist Jamal Green says he is running for mayor of Chicago. Green is expected to make a formal announcement at a rally later this afternoon in Hyde Park.
Anyway, let's see if she get it again. Okay, so while we getting Jamal's piece together, hit this story right here for me.
I think Shawana might be on the phone.
Oh, Shalana's on the phone? Okay, thank you. That wasn't a difficulty. We got Shalonda.
Shawan,
Hey, Shalonda, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
All right, I appreciate you for calling. I want to explain to my viewing audience, we had to cut off into that other story about the brother running for mayor so that Miss Edwards, who's the wife of Jackie Edwards, can explain to you from her point of view of what is happening. And again, sis, I'm glad that you called in. Me and your attorney laid it out as best we can, but can't nobody give it from a soul or the heart of a loved one better than you. So could you come and explain to my viewing audience, give them your name, and let them know what this man means to you, and then explain with the 3 or 4 minutes what we couldn't say.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me on your show. First of all, I am Shawana Edwards, the wife of Jackie Edwards, who is being held incarcerated at Compton Federal Prison Camp in Compton, Illinois. This has been a long battle. I received a phone call on the 14th of April stating that my husband was assaulted by correctional officers. I've been contacting the prison since then with not one return phone call or email in regards to his health care, well-being, or even the situation. As you know, my attorney is in the studio with you. He's been calling, trying to get some information on my husband, trying to get a physical visitation scheduled with him, and they have not complied. I've reached as many political officials. I've had 4 congressional letters sent to the prison, and still no one has saw him visibly in person outside of the institution. It's been today, makes 59 days that he has been placed in segregation, solitary confinement and I don't know why. They're not giving me any detailed information. He was assaulted by correctional officers, and then now I'm hearing that they are trying to accuse him of assaulting them. And that's impossible because he was placed in 4-point restraint. So if anybody know anything about that situation, there's
Yeah.
no way you can assault me. So it's just been an upgoing battle of going back and forth. And at the end of the day, I'm trying to make sure my husband is safe and come home. His release date was scheduled 5/29. Today is 6/14/22, and I still don't know why they're holding him. That's it's
Wow.
been heart wrenching.
You know, um, for the short time that I got with this, because we're gonna be in touch. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I'm glad
okay,
that you was able to get a message to him, and he was able to get a message back to you. Because I know your husband. You know what I mean? And
right,
he know I'm passionate about the things that I do because we alumnus, for lack of a better phrase. I was an ex-felon.
okay,
You know what I mean? I did my
yeah,
time, and I've been blessed to get, by the grace of God, to get a pardon. You know what I mean? But I kept up with the struggle in the name of criminal justice reform. And like I shared with your attorney and my viewing audience, he's the man that understands the court of law, and I understand the court of public opinion. And the thing is this, with us both working together and walking by faith in God, doing the righteous works, all things are possible. And I believe, hopefully, your man should be home before the 4th of July.
that's great. If I can just say one thing and spread the message, my message would be directed to these political officials and these government agencies and entities to really take these situations and cases seriously. Police corruption, police abuse is happening all too often, and I don't think a letter is good enough. I need some action. My husband is still inside that facility. I don't know what it's like day to day to be in segregation. So that would be
But,
my
the one thing, sis, by us informing the people of what is happening, it's going to add credence to the urgency of our elected officials, like our United States senators, our Congress folks, and especially at a time when they're preparing for the election. And I've been taught that in order to prove to the people that you're electable, you have to show them that you're accountable. And this is one way they can show that they're accountable, just by calling down there and saying, hey, what are you doing with this man? And that goes a long way. I'm telling you what I know. A lot of
okay.
guys have been able to get free because when two people working together to get an issue out there, you need the wherewithal of a good attorney that's doing what he's doing, and the wherewithal of an urban translator that having to inform the people what is happening, so we all can come together to have freedom.
Okay.
Again, I want to thank you for calling, and you got my number. You know, you can call
Yes.
me anytime. My wife even says that. You know what I mean? Hey, babe, it's about Jackie. Answer that phone. You know what I mean?
Thank you
So
so much. I appreciate it.
yeah, so I'm I'm gonna hold him a little while I get off to the rest of the show, cause we got a
Okay.
young man that made the decision that he want to run for office again.
Yes. Yes.
So I got our great technician, Brother Omari.
Okay.
Brother Omari, could you go back to the show about Jamal Green making the announcement that he's gonna run?
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, you got it. I appreciate you. Let's see. It's there you go. Yeah, hit that right there. Thank you, man.
Following breaking political news, community activist Jamal Green says he is running for mayor of Chicago. Green is expected to make a formal announcement at a rally later this afternoon in Hyde Park.
Rocker.
Well, I wonder what happened. That was it. That was real short. Well, hey, hit it again and come down to the bring it down, come down some more, come down some more. Should be something up there. Don't worry about it. Go to the next story. Jamal got a right to run, but we want to hit the story with Lori Lightfoot. No, the other one, the one before that. Yes, sir, right there. You know, she made her announcement. She's gonna run, so I want to share this with my viewing audience. Whoever missed it, this is what's happening.
They say I'm tough.
Today, Mayor Lightfoot doubled down.
They say I get angry.
She's had some tough battles.
They say sometimes I take things personally. You know what I say? They're absolutely right. When we fight for change, confront a global pandemic, work to keep kids in school, take on guns and gangs, systemic inequality and political corruption, only to have powerful forces try and stop progress for Chicago, of course I take it personally. For our city, change doesn't happen without a fight. It's hard, it takes time. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm just not the most patient person. I'm only human, and I guess sometimes it shows. But just because some may not always like my delivery, doesn't mean we're not delivering.
Chicago, the one and only Lori Lightfoot launches a plan that will help rebuild Chicago's infrastructure while also creating thousands of jobs.
Investing $1 billion in affordable housing, Invest Southwest initiative.
The mayor laid out her public safety agenda.
She came to talk about guns, gangs,
largest
and
gun buyback program.
Lori Lightfoot takes a strong stand in support of police.
More detectives
Mayor
on the
Lightfoot
street.
has lashed out at President Donald
Voters
Trump.
give the mayor high marks on her handling of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Racial equity rapid
She
response.
has a lot of accomplishments.
Look, I get it. I don't look or sound like any other mayor we've ever had before. And I've had to fight to get a seat at the table. And like so many in our city, I've had to fight to have my voice heard. That's why I'll never back down from fighting every day to turn your voice into action. It's you that I fight for. All the people who love, breathe, and believe in making the greatest city in the world even greater. You love the city as much as I do. The fact is, because of you, Chicago is coming back. When we got knocked down by COVID, we came together as a city and we got right back up, because that's who we are. And that's how we've been able to make so much progress despite all that's been thrown at us. Of course, there are tough challenges ahead. We have a lot of work to do because change just doesn't happen overnight. But together, we will make our city safer, fairer, and more equitable for all. Now, let's get back to work.
You know, what I love about Lori is everybody know I was with Toni Preckwinkle when she ran for mayor. I'm with Toni Preckwinkle still as she's running to be re-elected Cook County Board President. The thing that impressed me about Lori, she didn't have the foreknowledge about politics. Like a lot of people run for offices don't know that when you get there, there's certain limitations that you got to deal with. When you become the mayor, you dealing with the executive branch, but you got to also deal with the legislative branch in order to get things done. So when you're running for office, you make promises that you really intend to keep. And everybody they want to change. And 50 aldermen, 50 wards voted for her. And sometimes they need to know that change take time to come about. And in the short time that she's been there, she have done a lot on the south side and the west side of Chicago, where before it wasn't a lot of money paid or spent in those communities. And yeah, for the record, I'm riding with Lori, One of the things that was a big issue was when Rom closed the medical centers, it affected our community tremendously. Lightfoot, since she has been in office, she has earmarked $9.3 million to increase capacity at the 5 remaining city clinics. But she also came out with a plan, and she now has announced where she's given $3.1 million in grants to strengthen the mental health system. It says the mayor campaigned on a promise to reopen 6 mental health clinics that her predecessor, which was Ron. But her 2020 budget kept them closed. Didn't have enough money in there. Instead, she earmarked $9.3 million to increase the capacity of the 5 remaining city clinics. Brother Omari, could you bring the story down a little bit for me? Go up a little bit more. Right there. Right there. No. Right there. That's good. Let's see where they can see it. Anyway. Instead, Lightfoot earmarked $9.3 million to increase capacity at the 5 remaining city clinics and support 20 trauma-informed centers of care in areas of the greatest need impacted by violence and poverty on Chicago's south and west side. Monday, the mayor moved to strengthen the trauma-informed mental health system she is trying to build, awarding $3.1 million in new grants to a dozen new providers that would join an existing network of 38 mental health providers expected to provide behavioral health services to 60,000 Chicagoans this year. 60,000. That's a whopping 1,500% increase over 3,651. I'm saying that because a lot of people are saying she ain't doing nothing. So I took it upon myself to help educate the community to show what it is that she's doing. Because I believe this, everyone have a right to run. And while I believe the power of constructive criticism, complaining while one is campaigning gonna make a world of difference when it comes to show what it is that she's doing. We're gonna move from that. And something else before I leave. I voted early for the June 28th election. I voted for J.B. Pritzker to be reelected. I voted for Tony Prattwinkle to be reelected. I voted for Alexi Janulius to be the Secretary of State. I voted for 5 different judges. 3 of them I'm going to name. Judge Rena Marie Van Tyne, been a judge, I believe, for 20 years. She was associate judge. She got appointed to the circuit court judge. And Sanjay Taylor, he was a judge, I believe, for 20 years, associate judge. He became a circuit court judge, and now he made a decision to run in the 9th sub-circuit. Attorney Attorney Deidre Bowman, she's running to be elected to the Circuit Court of Cook County, and Thomas Donnelly, Circuit Court judge. Good judge, okay? Because I do my vetting before I accept them as a client. So I'm telling you, get out and vote. Don't choke. Less complaining. Come out and vote for whomever you want to vote for. Because when you come out and vote, they counting who came out and voted. And if you're African American and you didn't come out and vote, no matter who you vote for, come out and vote. Because then they see you as a strong voting base. We're going to get to the next story. Brother Omar, what's the next piece up there? Oh, yeah. In Houston, over how Houston moved 25,000 people from the streets into homes of their own. I want to share a little bit of this with you to let you know that if it can happen in Houston, it can happen in Chicago. So people, because my time running out, go online, Google how Houston moved 25,000 people from the streets into homes of their own so that we can be constructive critics and let our mayor know there's something that can be done to help with the housing problem here in Chicago. Brother Omar, let's hit the next story.
To see how Toni Preckwinkle will take on big challenges, just look at what she's done. Turning around Cook County's neglected health and hospital system. Creating County Care. Expanding health care for 400,000. Strengthening assistance for survivors of domestic violence and assault. And starting the county's first mental health service to help better respond to mental health emergencies. Toni's taken on tough fights, and she's not done yet. Toni Preckwinkle for County Board President.
Now you see how important that was? Her and the mayor once ran against one another. Now both of them are working together to help with the mental health situation. One is the county board president and one as the mayor. And one last story that's very important. The former Chicago police officer charged in the North Beach incident. We saw it on the news where this officer refused to let this woman, African-American woman, walk a dog, okay? We're going to come up with that. Brother Omar, could you hit that story? I think it may be, yeah, that right there. And then we're going to end right there.
How would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would.
Well, that's a good commercial. Everybody want to save some money on insurance. We're going to listen to that for 23 minutes.
Motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or
23 seconds, brother.
Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more. And
because this officer resigned
switch today and
from Chicago. Police in the,
it's easy. Simply
now he get charged.
Or contact your local agent today.
Former Chicago police officer charged in North Avenue Beach incident that went viral. A former Chicago police officer caught on video last year grabbing and restraining a black woman walking her dog after hours at North Avenue Beach has been indicted on felony charges related to the incident, court records show. Bruce Diker was indicted on charges of aggravated battery and official misconduct, and he is expected to be arraigned later this week, according to Cook County court records. Diker, a 23-year veteran of the Chicago Police Department, left the force last month before the department had announced any formal disciplinary action taken against him. The incident was captured in several videos that went viral last year, sparking a civilian Office of Police Accountability investigation and a response from Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who said she was quite disturbed by videos of the incident. Chicago Tribune handout. COPA concluded its investigation into Diker's conduct at the end of October. The results of that investigation were not immediately made public. Videos of the August 2021 incident, including one taken by bystanders and another captured by Diker's body camera, show the officer approaching the woman, Nikita Brown, at North Avenue Beach around midnight. Brown backs away from Diker as he approaches her and orders her to leave the park, which was then closed. Diker closely follows Brown, the video shows. She repeatedly tells him not to come closer and to back up because he isn't wearing a mask, and he continues to approach and order her to leave the park. Eventually, according to the video, the officer yells, "Get out of the park." What do you not understand about that? The park is closed. You are trespassing on city property, and you will go to jail if you don't take your dog and leave. I feel threatened, Brown says as she stops walking. Good, Diker responds. I'm about to put handcuffs on you if you don't keep walking. Do you want to test me on this? Diker grabs her arm and struggles to restrain her, the video shows. She shouts, "Let go." After about a minute of grappling, the two separate. Brown picks up her fallen phone and walks away from Diker and out of the park with her dog on a leash as the two continue to argue. Mcrepo at chicagotribune.com. Copyright 2021, Chicago Tribune. Copyright 2021, Chicago Tribune.
Thank you, Brother Omari. I want to thank my viewing audience for allowing me to share with you what is happening in the city of Chicago and what is happening across the country, and to let you know that if you got a loved one that's incarcerated and you feel like something is being done that's inhumane, please reach out to me, Brother Gator, your urban translator. And the phone number is 312-371-6914. That's 312-371-6914. And Brother Attorney, is glad to meet you.
Thank you
for handing with me.
Thank you so much.
And I want to say, please get out and vote. You heard who I voted for. Just get out and vote. And with that, I want to say, to God be the glory. That's my story. Thank you, Brother Omari.